lending your strength and courage to rise at hand in our time of need. We shall endeavor to fight the good fight to the end, that we might honor Alame's legacy and serve Master Vitra well. You have my word that your efforts will not be in vain. So yeah, probably after I finish this quest, I'm probably going to do my role quest. I'm very over level for it. Welcome. When the satrap asked us to entertain a party of honored guests, I was wondering who it might be. This is a lovely surprise to say the least. By the way, I heard all about Cousin from your friend Grahatia. I understand there was nothing that could be done, but I was heartened to hear he meant us no harm. I cannot thank you enough for dispatching the beast. As the smallest token of our thanks, your food and drinks tonight are Manatee's treat. Speaking of which, what shall I start you off with? At this point, need alcohol. Please, I need alcohol. As you wish. Pray, join your friends, and I will bring you your drinks. I stole it. Welcome back. Whatever did the Radiant want with you, pray tell? Our allies have sent military delegates. That's news to me. My share in the details. Yeah, pretty much just need to go and kill a bunch of blasphemies. You know, normal hero stuff.
So blasphemies now plague all the realm.
It will only get worse if what Father said is true, as it did in Amarot.
If that's our model, then shouldn't we expect the effects to grow more severe as it feeds off its own spread? As if people transforming into those monstrosities wasn't bad enough. If the flora and fauna, if the land itself turned against us.
No one would survive.
Here's your order, friend. May you find comfort in these dark times.
Where do we go from here? If there's one thing we've learned, fighting blindly and simply reacting to what comes will accomplish nothing. We must find a solution that addresses the fundamental cause. Before our strength is exhausted, before this crisis spirals out of control. Is there something, anything we've overlooked?
If there is an answer, Hydaelyn herself will have it. 'Twas she who bound Zodiac and forestalled the final days. Alas, we have heard naught from her since the Tower of Babel. Whether she cannot or will not speak, I can only speculate. Even the flower she gave us is no more. So advised the Watcher. But what could be the significance of that name? It is entirely unfamiliar to me.
To me as well. It meant something to the ancients, though. In our time.
Most surely. Yet I do not recall a single mention of it in the records of Anida.
Another dead end. And quite literally. It's not as if there are any ancients living we could go and ask.
Not alive as such, but not quite dead. Elidibus. I sealed him in the White Aurosite of the Crystal Tower back on the first. Contained within that reservoir of ether that maintains it, ether that is returned little by little to the sea. Naught may remain of his soul. However, if part of it lingers, we might be able to speak with him there. I know we can no longer make that journey, but you, my friend, still can. Thank you, my friend. That would mean much to me.
If nothing else, should we learn the first is safe, we'll have that much more reason to keep fighting the good fight. That said, the odds are not in our favor, to say the least. Which is why we're fortunate to have Urianger up there on the moon, working hard to make all the necessary preparations for our departure, should it come to it.
And why we have nothing to lose by staying the course till the last instant.
Indeed. To the last, let us all do what we can. I will consult with Master Matoya and see if she knows of a way to reach Hydaelyn from the ethereal sea.
And I will visit the nation's leaders and attempt to ascertain how far the final days have progressed elsewhere.
Keep me abreast of your findings. I can seek out and slay the worst of the immediate threats, if only to slow the spread.
Unease, terror, despair. Try as we might to suppress them, these emotions will return to harry us time and time again. But when they do, remember this. Your friends and loved ones are out there somewhere, sharing in your struggle. You are not alone.
So ends the brief respite before the next revelation. Yes, so much left for you to see. Where beginning ends, and end begins.
Now then, is there anything else we've got to mention? Are your arms and armor in good order? In that case, it's time we each attend to our task. And when you arrive on the first, give my regards to Reed. Tell her I miss her. You got it, Dacrid. Of course I would. Okay, let me do that roll quest. I said I would do it. And I think if I remember right, like, doing them when you're supposed to do them is actually really kind of helps ties everything together. Ah, my Lord Vamron, I have awaited your coming. The phenomenon wherein men turn into monsters. It pains me to say that Ishgard has not been spared. A dread blasphemy has spread in the Holy See, and to compound the people's horror, the beast resembles a dragon, to the imperative that it be vanquished without delay. and to that end, we've begun assembling a hunting party. Given that fear and despair may turn our allies against us, we are being stringent in whom we choose for this duty. Yet, while we have confidence in the quality of our knights, the mission would greatly benefit for the presence of a battle mage, one who can stand unflinching in the face of our fell quarry. We would be hard-pressed to find an individual who fits that description better than you. Will you not lend us your strength and skill? We are in your debt. Just a moment while I relay the glad tidings to command. "'Tis settled. Upon arriving in Ishgard, please take yourself to the Aetheryte Plot. Lord Enterol will be there to receive you. May the Fury speed your way." Bitch, are you done, mate yet? Vamron, I've been expecting you. Words cannot well express how heartening it is to have you fighting beside us. Allow me to echo that sentiment. Greetings, my friend. Least you wonder, Lord Otral and I are leading the efforts to deal with the blasphemy. With your capable self in the fold, I have no doubt that we shall succeed. Without further ado, I shall brief you on the situation. 'Twas a handful of days after the first beast appeared at Razathan. An Elizan man was observed at the Hopling in the pillars, walking with an unsteady gait. All of a sudden, he buckled over as if in pain, and before anyone knew what was happening, he had transformed into a terrible, draconic beast. At the mere sight of this, many who chanced to be present also turned, and regrettably, the Temple Knights were forced to put them down. The blasphemy itself, however, took wing and fled. Profane Fafnir, we have chosen to call it, after the dragon man of Ishgardian myth. Since that day, the beast has often been sighted in the skies above Ishgard. It does not attack, only circles menacingly for a time ere disappearing again. Alas, these brief visitations are enough to cause more people to turn, and for fear and panic to spread further. As part of our investigation, we have sought to identify the man who became the blasphemy, but thus far have learned naught. We have, however, identified a common thread between those who so quickly turned. All were people of fervent faith, people such as priests and inquisitors. When the truth of our nation's history was laid bare, the legitimacy of the church was called into question. Many Ishgardians struggled to reconcile the revelations with their belief, and none more so than the pious. Such men and women, we persist, would be more susceptible to despair, and therefore the transformation. We must find a way to stop it. Ishgard has only just emerged from a 1,000-year war, and we cannot suffer another great tragedy, much less so soon. In order to attain a better understanding of the situation, we intend to speak with a member of the clergy. The sole individual who survived witnessing the blasphemy birth without being turned. Clem is his name, and he is a deacon of St. Rimaud's cathedral. Come, let us seek him out there at once. Alright, let's go to church. Lord Emmerich, Lord Estarl, and the savior of Ishgard besides, you do me great honor. I am Clem, and I serve as a deacon here at St. Rimaud's Cathedral. I understand you were among those at the Hopland when the incident occurred. We give thanks to the Fury for your merciful preservation. We now seek to prevent the blasphemy from wreaking further havoc, and would appreciate any detail you can provide. Though we are able to make you recall unpleasant memories, will you not recount to us what you witnessed that day? Very well. We are presently relocating the vault's libraries to the cathedral. In case you were unaware, we have finished delivering a batch of tomes, and we're on our way to bring over another. As we approached the Hopland, we noticed a young man walking unsteadily. No sooner had he come to an abrupt halt than he transformed into a draconic beast. The fiend fixed us with a menacing glare, and it was all we could do to find our wits and flee. But to my compounding horror, my brethren who were with me began transforming into monstrosity as well, one after another. Praise the Fury that you, at least, were spared, Deacon Clem. I cannot imagine how frightening the experience must have been. Bishop Fartex. Forgive me if I interrupt. I was informed that our stalwart protectors were present and wish to express my gratitude. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your service. I pray that we shall soon be free of this scourge. Indeed, if there is aught we might do to aid your efforts, you need but say it. You are most kind, Your Grace. That was Bishop Fartex, the head of St. Remiz and the member of the Synod? With the seat of the Archbishop vacant, he is, in effect, the highest authority in the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. This is so, yet in spite of his elevated station, he remained as kind and humble as man as any I've ever known. Like his grace, I will do all that I can to help shepherd our people through these uncertain times. To that end, there is a request I would make of you, if you can spare a moment to consider it. Of course, if it is within our power, we should be glad to offer you aid. Thank you. In the wake of the transformation, a group of clergymen fled the city in fear. Yet, Though they sought refuge in the wilderness, they put themselves at the mercy of the elements and fell fiends both. Given that the cause of the transformation is not clear, I think there was a decidedly unwise decision. I wish to set out and find them, but I am not trained in the ways of war. As such, I require those who are to accompany me in the search. So that is the way of it. Suffice it to say, we will help. Do you know whether your fellows may have headed? The Western Highlands, I believe. Between Gorgon Mill and Hemlock, there is no shortage of abandoned dwellings in the area. Very well. Time being of the essence, I propose we split up and scour separate areas. Vamron, if you could escort the good deacon to Gorgon Mills, Lord Otterl and I will tend to Hemlock. Yeah, it's not the best name. Feels good to fly again. We'll get that. Feels good to fly again. Oh. Well, in case y'all didn't hear from when Carly was talking, pretty much I'm probably going to be on like all day tomorrow because my vacation pretty much started today. Like I'll probably do a little bit of stuff in the morning, just like housekeeping stuff. But after that, I'm going to be on and hitting it. You? Ah, I see you found them. Yes, and none the worse for wear, thank the Fury. My friends, forgive us if we've given cause for alarm. We come out of concern for your well-being. Though we understand why you quit the city, we fear you may have placed yourself at greater risk by coming here. His Grace Bishop Bartex, too, worries for your health and prays for your swift return. So please, will you not allow us to escort you to the Holy See? I assure you, you will be much safer there than in this wretched place. Servants of the Fury will never be safe in the city, don't you see? This is your fault. You and your accursed revolution. The people disdain us, mock us behind our backs, and spit in our faces. And now someone is conspiring to transform us into monstrosities, enemies of the church, I'll wager, embodiment by your deeds. So no, I will not go back to Ishgard. I'd sooner freeze to death than suffer your pity. What? All I have ever done was in service to her. I am a good man. I do not. She cannot forsake me. Vamron, we cannot allow him to harm any others. Give chase and do what you must. We will remain here to keep the others calm. Is it done, Vamron? My thanks. What happened is most regrettable, but we must be grateful that no one else came to harm. While you were gone, the deacon was able to convince the others to return to the city. Let us escort them back at once, and then reconvene at the congregation to consider our next course of action. For our purposes, we have the use of the strategy book. Announce yourself to the guard without, and he will show you in. The long walk. Not so far away. Lord Emmerich and Arturo await you within the strategy room. Will you be joining them now? Yes. Here we shall discuss our plans to deal with the blasphemy. Whensoever you wish to enter, you need but say so to the guard. Least you wonder, we have taken the clergyman to St. Ramon's to rest and recover. If truth be told, the thought that they may still succumb to despair and turn remains at the forefront of my mind. Yet the risk would be greater still were we to keep them at arm's length and deny them the comfort of the church. Indeed, from the words he spoke, that inquisitor yearned for the days of old. He and others like him can scarcely be blamed. Since the truth of the nation's founding and the archbishop's machinations were made public knowledge, the church has been in turmoil. Though we have made great strides in separating religion and state, there has been far less progress in the reformation of the church. For our faith has been everything to us, our purpose and our comfort. It is not an easy thing to reconcile one's belief with the betrayal of our spiritual leaders. Thus torn between the hearts and minds, many guardians feel lost, and none more so than members of the clergy, whose faith was once unshakable. Little wonder, then, that most dedicated and devout are like to turn. So it seems, but further investigation is needed ere we draw a definite conclusion. With the war's end, Ishgard has set out on a new path. The choices we make now shall determine our course for the future. Come what may, we dare not squander the chance we have fought so hard to attain. Once the returned clergyman has sufficiently calmed down, I shall have the deacon speak with them, that he might gain insight into their individual plights. Good. Meanwhile, I shall take the opportunity to brief my men on recent developments. Pray take a moment's rest, my friend. You've earned it. When you are ready to continue our work, you may seek us out here.